Try to get situated here. Hello, once again, fellow YouTubers. Welcome to my little corner of the world, also known as my quiet place. It's Warren once again. And my topic is those of you dating after 50 plus. Plus is 50, 55, 60, even 65. And honestly, it's just my opinion and what works for me. After spending a great deal of my life in marriages and dating and all those things, and this is not a situation where I have something negative to say about anybody in particular, no particular person that entered my life or anything like that. It's just that now that I've gotten older and I've done the dating scene and all that stuff, dating is one thing, but I've made it absolutely clear with several ladies that I've come in contact with that I am not seeking anything serious. And by serious is when you start talking about moving in together, when you start talking about being under one roof, telling me I need a woman to cook for me. Well, I can cook. Just because you want to cook me a meal don't mean we necessarily have to live together. If you have your own place as a mature lady or a lady at 50, some of y'all don't consider yourself mature women yet, but and you know that your last couple of relationships didn't go that well, and you finally got that person out of your life, why are you talking about teaming up with somebody else at this point in time? I myself don't see a need to. It's definitely not a financial decision. I mean, yes, having another source of income around would be great, but I really don't need that. So why would I want to risk my peace and my quiet based on the fact that I needed somebody here financially? If you got to be here just to help out financially, I'll get another job. I'll find another source of income. I'll even rent out a room for a month just to get caught up. But dating is simply that. And, I don't want to keep trying to put things on social media, but when you bring social media into the whole aspect of dating these days, and, me finding young ladies that are 50 and 55 and 60, and their level of communication is that of somebody that's 30. Not saying 30 is immature, but I'm just simply making a point. I would think if I met you and you are 55, that you would be a little bit more grounded. You're trying to keep up with this whole young way of life that doesn't even fit you. Me hearing a 60-year-old lady the other day stepping to me talking about what's good, and I said chicken and rice. She laughed, but she knew what I meant by that. It's certain little things that would probably, I don't want to say turn me off, but would instantly let me know that we won't be spending a whole lot of time together. And I try to make that point clear with people when I meet them. I'm not trying to just meet somebody and string them along, or anything like that. I went from actually introducing myself to a woman and we having a conversation. First thing I noticed, she didn't even introduce herself back. So I'm just letting the conversation go. Because at this point, she's had several exchanges in the communication. She still hasn't said her name. So I introduced myself, and I'm thinking, well, at your age, you should know to introduce yourself. Another story for another moment. And she says, but what are you about to do right now? I'm about to finish my shopping, and I'm going home. But you don't want to go across the way and grab a bite to eat? No, ma'am, I don't. I have ice cream. I don't want my ice cream to melt. Whatever. She's like, well, Why don't you just put the ice cream back? Let's just run over here and grab something, grab a bite, and just hang out together. So in my mind, I'm thinking, if she's hungry, just say, hey, look, sir, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but I hate to approach you this way, but I'm kind of coming up short and on some groceries or whatever. I would have gladly, respectfully, given that lady a loaf of bread and some lunch meat. But trying to coax me into going across the street and have this meal that's going to probably be, number one, too expensive for me to be trying to just up and just go across the street and just have a meal for somebody that's still, you haven't even really formally introduced yourself. So I respectfully declined. And the first thing she said was, see, that's the problem with y'all men here in Georgia. Y'all think y'all don't owe anybody anything. Well, truth of the matter is, lady, I don't owe you nothing. I am not the source of your problems. I didn't cause you to be in whatever condition that you're in. And so she was like, well, that's kind of forward. I was like, no, I'm just being honest with you. I mean, if you're hungry, you want some bread and some whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, I just thought, I was looking at you and I was checking you out. I can tell you're a man of this, a man of stature, this, that. But wait a minute, you just said that's a problem with men in Georgia. So which one is it? So it's these kind of little games that I have seen being played to make me realize that's not for everybody. I'm not saying every woman I come in touch with, but it is being more often than not that, and maybe it's because of now we have a lot of ladies out here now that have found themselves single after 50, after 55, and they don't want to be alone. That's all fine and good, but if you keep approaching men and you giving them this act of desperation, you're gonna mess around and track the wrong thing. You're gonna track somebody that's gonna try to take advantage of you. Now you fast forward 2 months in, you got some man living in your house you trying to figure out how to get rid of. And I know you don't want that. I feel the same way about my peace and quiet. Why should I rush to have somebody up in here? Or even the first time they come over and they claim they want to stay over. Well, first of all, you just invited yourself to stay the whole night. Okay, sure, come on over. And they've got a bag that's probably big enough with a week's worth of clothing. But no, you ain't staying. You up out of here in the morning. We're not. That's not what we're about to do. We're not about to slide in under the radar. And I was having a good conversation with a friend of mine today, and we was talking about dating and all these things, and she was wondering how to tell if a man is really interested in certain things. And I'm no expert at this. I just told the truth. Certain things to look out for. Is he really paying attention to you when y'all have a conversation? First of all, and if he's not, he's probably not that interested. He may just want to fill a void. He just want to kill some time. Maybe, whatever. Myself personally, I don't have moments where I feel lonely, but I have moments where I feel like it's a good day to go out and hang out with friends. It's a good day to call up, old girl, and let's hook up. But I don't want that to be a routine. I spent a lot of my life being in routines. You go all the way back to elementary school. You had a routine. You get up, get yourself ready for school, you go to school, you study, you come home. From there all the way through high school, same routine. You have a summer break, you run around, same routine. College, a little bit more for advanced, but you still have that routine. And doing by the way, when you're in high school, then you started dating young ladies or whatever you choose to date, you quickly fall into a certain routine to where every morning at 9 a.m. or whatever your homeroom class is, you're going to be walking this person to class. So, and that's a great thing. That's good for development. That's good for communication, the whole nine. But what I'm simply saying that I spent a whole lot of my life living on routine. And now when people ask me, so what are you doing this weekend? I'm keeping it random. You don't never make plans. The only plans I have is to hopefully go to work Monday through Friday. Anything after that, it's hard to say what I'm gonna be doing Tuesday when I get out of work. It depends on how my Tuesday went. Hard to say what I'm gonna be doing this coming weekend when you asking me on Wednesday, unless there was already an engagement that was going on that I've already signed up to something previous. But other than that, no. What do you do for fun? What's your interpretation of fun? Because for me, let's just say fun for me could be reading. Just an example, y'all. I don't like to read. I hate reading. Bowling. I used to like go play pool, but that might not be enough for that person. You know, we dealing with somebody she's probably been married for 30 years. She was in her routine, and for whatever reason, maybe her husband passed away or they divorced. Now she's ready to live her life again. Now you're meeting somebody that has done the total opposite the whole time, that's not ready to just be out there like that. Listen, y'all, I ain't trying to be in the streets all up and down through, if you know the area of Atlanta, all up and down through Buckhead, all up and down through all this traffic and you know, doing all these different Wednesday wind downs. I mean, for the past 10 years, I think when it came to Wednesday wind down, I probably did 5 events. Because I don't feel like I want to get caught in any particular routine, and even in marriage, it's a routine. And so I'm like, I went from saying, "Man, I hope this is gonna last forever," to, "Well, you know what? If this don't work, I'm done. I'm not trying to group up, link up, none of those things. I'm not trying to." Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, and I may have a room, oh yeah, you can rent it. But by the time I get through calculating what it's gonna cost you to live here, by the time I split everything, you're gonna end up paying $100 or more than what I'm already paying if we split it down the middle. So how bad do you need to stay here? And it won't be any, I don't know, one night something just happened. It ain't gonna happen, because the way I see it, you bringing it up already, you're hoping that's gonna happen. So next month you thinking, I thought we were together, why you charging me rent? See, I'm not trying to play these cat and mouse games with anybody. If I'm gonna struggle, I can be over here and be struggling. If I'm gonna be well off, I can be over here and be well off. But I don't want to be in a position, find myself in another position to where you know, there's 2 people involved, but one is giving 85%, the other one is not giving nowhere near what they supposed to be giving. And let's just be real, y'all. Before y'all say, well, you supposed to be a helpmate, you supposed to be a provider, all these things, but y'all, come on, it's inflation killing everybody. So for you to think that I have somebody over here right now that coming in without contributing, no, I would not. If I'm involved, if I'm married and something shall happen and that person can't contribute something at some point, that's a given. Okay, fine. But I'm not trying to be Captain Saver. And I wish these women would stop trying to come at me like I'm going to be their saving grace, because I am not. I'm really not. The minute they start talking about money problems, guess what? I'll make up money problems. I sure will. I don't care how brand new my tires look. Yeah, I got to get a brand new spare tire. I know it's going to cost me $200. I'll make up something. You know, how do you meet them where they at? You start talking about money problems, even if you have to manufacture them. Because, and this is for somebody that's not actively involved, so y'all don't misunderstand what I'm saying. If you're in a relationship, you're committed, that's one thing. I'm simply talking about dealing with the dating life after you've gotten to a certain age and certain things that you would not stand for. So, and oh, by the way, this is a 2-part video. I'm going live and I am recording it. So for all of you that are sending me live messages right now, I am not reading them. I don't have my glasses on. So if you want to just kick back and listen, be my guest. But I don't want to find myself in that position to where I feel like I have to, it's too stressful for me to want to have to depend on always trying to see if this is going to work. And that's just like, last 3 days, I had this crazy idea. I think I'm ready for another pet. I'm gonna get me a puppy. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I erased that thought too, because at some point I'll be going back to work. And at some point, I'll be coming home, stuff is eaten up, chewed up, crap everywhere. No, no, thank you. I'll pass. Now, if I was off work for 6 months or retired, I would probably own another pet. But I don't. It's not in my cards right now. And as far as, well, who do you talk to when you once again, I don't feel lonely. I reach out and call my friends. I have people to talk to. I have lady friends that we see each other. But I'm not trying to push it into anything else. I just had maybe a 2-hour conversation with a lady friend about everything under the sun except dating and relationships, because that's not what we talk about. With the exception of, her saying she wants to be in a relationship, but she's not finding the right people. And that's because I think now there are more people that wants to play the game of life than to really try to get involved with you seriously. So I don't want to waste my time. I'm not going to waste time with somebody where I feel like I'm obligated, have to call them every morning or talk 30, 40, hour and a half every day. I found myself in that situation 3 times in the last 3 months, actually. Every day the phone calls. Every day. I get home from work and I made the terrible mistake and say, oh, no, I normally get home at 4 o'clock, no later. And they're calling me at 4:05, and I look up, it's 7:30. I haven't done anything. There is not that much conversation every day. And you don't need to know what I have for lunch every day. I don't need to know what you have for lunch every day. I don't need to know what your coworker over there, the one that's constantly blowing her nose and don't wash her hand doing every day. I don't need all that stuff. Allow me time to miss you. And you may actually miss me. I don't want to fall back into that routine, and there's nothing against it. For those of you that out there that's lonely and seeking that relationship, I wish you well. I really do. I hope you find that right person. But think about this: if you've been in a long-term relationship or several long-term relationships, and now let's just say you're 55, do you really have that much time in your life to try to break somebody else in? To deal with all the mess, to deal with the 2 years of growing pain till you guys finally start to jail. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't want the routine of, thinking that you have to be with me 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And I'll tell y'all that I enjoy my peace. I enjoy my break from all that stuff. I really do. I really do. And I appreciate the offers and the gestures of these lady friends that are fairly new lady friends that are wanting to hang out and meet up. And the last 3, I said, sure, let's meet. Let's go to the park. The park? What we going to do there? See? Right there. We can sit quietly and have a normal conversation. And just while life is happening right around us. That's not good enough. Everybody think they need to be seen. They need to, peek over there and look and see how much the check was when I asked for the check. It's none of your business unless you plan on paying half of it. If you plan on paying all the half of it, don't you concern yourself with how much the check was. I mean, come on now. If I invite you out and if we make an agreement on where we can go, quite frankly, it's affordable. So it shouldn't matter. But I've gotten out of that whole boring stage of, because I can do that with friends. I can go to a Mexican restaurant, I can go to a nice restaurant, I can go to a sports bar. But I've gotten out of that portion of it. So if we're going to meet, like I said, sure, let's go to the park. Let's do something like that. Or you had some errands to do, you was planning on going to this fabric store or something like that. Hey, I'll come walk with you. Let's do something different. Let's get out of this routine of doing what we think we always have to do. It's not fun for me. I'm gonna be quite frank with y'all. It's not fun for me. It may be because there was some bad situations in past relationships. Maybe because I'm just tired and bored with it. Whatever it is. But I don't want to fall into that routine with somebody and then they're trying to figure out what's wrong. Well, I'm trying. What's wrong? Why you not that into me? I'm not into the routine. It's nothing against the person, and especially if I tell them up front, this is not what I'm seeking. And I understand they'll tell me, well, I want something more meaningful. Well, do not allow me to kill your time and to keep you from finding that meaningful situation. But at this state right now, it's not going to be with me. It won't be with me. So I think once you start being honest with people and your true intentions, you all can respect each other better right from the beginning. I don't need to lie to you, and I don't want you lying to me. We just make this thing work as peacefully and as friendly, even platonically. I'm good. I'm good. And I don't think nobody that's out here that's 55 plus need to be trying to entice me with their body anyway. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you. You don't need to do all that extra, because at some point you have to feel some kind of way that you're behaving a certain way that you're acting at this age. When I'm sitting here looking at you and we had trying to have a mature conversation with you. And I found that a lot of people can't do that. It's hard for them to have that conversation. It's hard for them to discuss their past relationships, discuss things that maybe excite them or turn them on. You can't talk about it. But you want to be in a committed relationship, but you can't even open your mouth and tell somebody what it is that you like, your dislikes, what turns you on, any of that. So where do you go from there? I don't want to be trying to figure out. Well, you're a man, you're supposed to know. And guys, let me tell you something. The next 5 women that tell you some mess like that, you're a man, you're supposed to know what they like. If you're not already involved with them physically, and if they haven't already told you the things that they like physically, you don't supposed to know. So do not allow them to put that burden on you, making you feel like you can't figure out women, because not all of them gonna like the same thing. And that's really true. We may all have already all start acting exactly like, watching the same shows, dancing the exact same way. But when it boils down to it, we like different things. So, if you're having these conversations with these ladies and you ask them, what do you like physically? What do you like romantically? And you're supposed to know. Don't accept that answer. Ask them one more time and say, if you don't mind, I would like for you to be specific about it. Just be honest with them. If they can't do it, and you're trying to figure out if you're gonna click with this woman or not, she don't even know what she like. So, good luck with her. And it goes both ways. But again, if you can't be honest and upfront for a woman asks you a simple question like that, and you cannot answer it, maybe you're wasting her time and yours. Because you need to be able to be direct and answer these simple questions. I really do believe that. But if you're looking for somebody, you tired of being lonely and you looking for somebody to belong to or to scoop up and move in, let them know your intentions on how you want this situation to go. But then again, you meet this woman, you may be interested in trying to get to something more serious, and 8 out of 10 of them, the first thing they talking about is they want to travel. They ain't a bit more concerned with anything about you, really seriously trying to get to know you off the bat. They just want to know if y'all gonna travel. Now you gotta ask yourself, how do I know I'm gonna be able to put up with this woman for a whole weekend getaway or a week? If we have never spent the night together or had a date or anything that lasted beyond 6 hours. They may have spilled over into the next day or whatever. All these little quick pop-up dates, but they won't talk about traveling. I'm not trying to sponsor nobody. This is not a charity over here. So for us to even talk about traveling, I really got to like you. I really have to want to spend time with you. Because I'm not just traveling just for the sake of traveling. Just so you can go out here and snap all these pictures, but we're not really together on this trip. We're not enjoying each other. These some of the things that you have to look out for. And I'm talking about mainly about myself and what I would and would not stand for. But I'm sure a lot of y'all y'all thinking the same thing that and even for the ladies, hell, he's right. Cause this one guy, he keep talking about who I live with and do I like being alone and how would you feel about having a man there full time? Look here, lady, he's just looking for somewhere to belong. He probably just got kicked out of that last situation because she was tired of his mess, and now he's trying to move in with somebody else. So y'all be careful with this. And it's not something that we don't know. I love coming home to a fairly clean place like I left it the day before. I enjoy when I have company, but trust and believe going in and discussion of them coming over. Well, okay, you come by for a couple hours, but basically you're gonna have to go home unless we already planned on wanting to hang out or make it a weekend or whatever. But don't assume just because you're coming over that you're gonna be staying over. Because once again, I'm not trying to get in that routine of here it is 3 months later, and I'm used to you being over here on Friday night, maybe leaving Sunday or leaving Saturday night. Then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 weeks go by and you're not doing it. Now I'm wondering what's different, what's going on. See, I think it's too soon to be thinking that because I'm getting involved with this young lady that she's gonna always be over here, or I'm gonna have these phone conversations 3 or 4 times a day, lasting a minimum of 30 minutes each phone call. We don't have that much to talk about. There has not that much happened at my job that we need to talk about, and it's a work week. Other than if it was something that happened, yeah, I'll call you. We can go in detail about it. But every day the same thing. You consuming 30 minutes of my lunch hour when I've already said, for my lunch hour, sometimes I may just go away somewhere and park, or I may get in my vehicle and sit in silence during lunch hour and just find me something on YouTube to watch or whatever, just to break up my day. And now I've dealt with people all morning. Now you expect me to give up half my lunch hour to talk to you each and every day? Are you even tired of that? No, we get tired. I don't want to feel obligated like that. I really, truly don't. And it's not because I'm mad at somebody recently and all this kind of stuff. I just don't want that. I just don't want that normalcy. Give me time to miss you. Make me wonder where you were. Let my mind wander. Build up my own little crazy notion of what you possibly were doing. Even though it's something further from the truth, but let my mind wander. I don't need to know your every play-by-play. Because if anything, it's going to bore me. Because if I sit here and talk to somebody every day about my job, the same old stuff, the same old situation, and this lady's interested in me, I'm quite sure at some point she's going to get bored with that as well. So let's just be truthful. Unless you feel like you have to have somebody in your life that much, that's on you. I don't. I used to like always having that special somebody by my side. And I'm not saying I dislike it now. I just like it less. I want more time for me. To give me time to do whatever it is I'm over here doing. Be it having a quiet moment, like now, no television. Got on my computer today, took care of a few things. Probably watched me a couple of episodes of one of my shows I've been catching up on. And that's gonna be it. got out today, made it to the park, enjoyed my walk at the park. Had 3 different phone calls early this morning that's regarding some personal situations from professionals. And so that consumed my morning. Now I have talked my tail off about what's going on with me. How do I feel? All these things. Now, do I want to get on a phone and have to talk to somebody that I'm interested in with the same stuff? Even though I told them, hey, look, this is what's going on with me right now. I've got to deal with this. And if I just say, hey, I had a great day. We had this situation going on. We should just be able to leave it at that and start talking about something else, not relating to what I've just had 3.5 hours of conversations that I want to have another 2-hour conversation about it. If you're that interested in what's going on, well, then my next session, feel free to come over and sit in and just silently sit there. But there's nothing terrible. There's nothing bad going. Well, it could be depending on how you look at it. But I do enjoy meeting new people. I do. I still I get out. I'm very active. Once I leave the house, I go out. I'm not. And then I can be the person that 4 days out the week, I'm out every evening doing things. And then the next week, I may not want to go out as much. Maybe want to go out maybe once or twice. It balances out. But I don't feel like every time I meet somebody that I have to pretty much show them the town all over again. Come on, y'all. Unless you're younger, that's all fine. But for those of us, as they say, old school, we're too grown for that. We need to get our tail somewhere and sit down, get to know each other, and talk about things like, in the event of something happens, do you have an emergency contact? Do you want to leave the emergency contact number over here? If we're that serious or getting that serious, I think we should exchange those bits of information. I don't want to talk about stuff like that. That's too. So what am I supposed to do? If you come over here and then you choke on a pee and drop dead, I don't have nobody. I don't have a next of kin. Yeah, they can figure it out at the hospital or the morgue, but still. I was in a situation and I tried to give that person that was, okay, let's just say the better half. Didn't want to take that responsibility. I don't want to think about something like that. Okay. I mean, I took care of it with somebody else, of course, but how are you here with me? You're here with me 98% of the time, day and night, but you don't want to. Maybe that person was with you for all the wrong reasons. Maybe that person was as vested in the relationship as you were. And, a lot of times, and I can't blame this on age and say when you were younger, you didn't think about these things. But, as you mature, you start thinking more clearly about when you have that conversation, how quick somebody is to blow it off. Because the only thing they just want to go to fun town all the time. They're not thinking about the seriousness of a relationship, or what if something does actually happen? What will they do? Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait. Because I do know for a fact this week I will be updating a lot of my emergency situation, emergency contact, all those things. I've got, because it hasn't been long, but it's been too long for me. Some things have changed. People's phone numbers changed and things of that nature. I look at trying to make sure. Here's the way I see it. If it's me and it's just myself, I ain't responsible for nobody else. I have more time to think about me and my needs, what I want, what I need out of life. Because I'm the type, when I get involved with you and it becomes serious, I make it about them. That's just habit. This is habit, But a lot of times we end up making it about that person, and rightfully so. And that person don't appreciate you. Now, I ain't saying that's what happened to me, but I'm just saying a lot of times you could be in these relationships with people and they don't appreciate you. And you quickly find out. That's if you're willing to do the work. Some people just don't care. They just want to have a warm body. But no. I don't want to do that. And that's why, like I said, I titled this, for us dating, I date. But it's not, what do they say? Dating with a purpose? No, my purpose is to date, to get to know you. I can't guarantee you or tell you anything beyond that. I really can't. So if you want to be along for the ride, you want to just take a relaxed approach to it, let's do it. But if you're looking for something 100% serious and you got to have that or nothing else, I would not be the one for you at this point in time. So I would not sit here and allow no woman to waste her time on me like that. And guys, if that's what you're doing, you got these women still wasting their time, and you 50 plus years old. Why don't you slow your little tail down and just be honest with these women? Stop wasting each other's time. Or maybe she's wasting her time. She's wasting your time. Maybe you want something she's not giving. Regardless of how it's doing, stop wasting each other's time. I know a lot of people want to be in committed relationship. They want to be married. They want to have that special someone to come home to, and that's all fine and good. I'm all for marriage and togetherness, but not for me right now. No, I got way too much going on, and the last thing I want to do is get all stressed out over somebody right now. I just don't want to do it. And then when they come in, of course they're gonna bring their baggage. You already just got through unpacking your baggage, but then they come in with their baggage. Now you got to not only deal with that person, but their offspring's problems. Now there's a heavy weight on you. There's a heavy weight on you. But make sure you're ready for that. We have to be ready for situations like that. And if you're not, don't jump into it. It's just as simple as that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get outside for a little while and enjoy my afternoon and, my evening rather. So for those of you that tune in, whether it's live or whether, this video is finding you the next day or two, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, because I do intend on being on here a little bit more often than I have been. But we'll see. Things come up. But until next time, everybody take care.